Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh. We need to talk about Avengers Doomsday because there's crazy leaks out there about it and I don't like it. I don't like what I'm hearing. So in this video, we're going to talk about Doctor Doom. We're going to talk about Steve Rogers. We're going to talk about the main plot for this film. We're going to talk about why I think it's kind of lame. But we're also going to leave the door open for it to actually not be lame and maybe it's cool. Like some of you guys have already told me that you think some of this actually sounds cool. A lot of you thought my theories sucked balls anyway, so maybe you guys will be super happy about this. For me, I just wanted more out of Doomsday, but it looks like they're saving some of the major cooking for Secret War. So what am I talking about? Well, it's a series of leaks all about Steve Rogers, okay? Now, this has been kind of popping off over the past couple of weeks. My Time to Shine Hello has been teasing that Steve Rogers is very important to the plot, and just a few days ago, she basically explained that this code name character, Luke Cage, that had been on all kinds of different documentation for Avengers Doomsday, including this new set that they were building, this house that was 60s themed in the Windsor Park. This was on royal ground, so very, very secretive stuff from Marvel Studios. Apparently, the character of Luke Cage from Doomsday was actually Steve Rogers. So the whole time, it's always been Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. So they are obviously going to that house with him and Peggy that he goes to at the end of Endgame, right? That's clearly going to be a part of the Doomsday film. Now, just today, My Time to Shine revealed that the reason Chris Evans is so important to the movie is because when he went back in time in Endgame to go be with Peggy, he created the incursions. Okay, so there were a lot of questions about what had caused the incursions. Like maybe it was Wanda acting a fool with the Darkhold. Maybe it was friggin' Doctor Strange and Peter Parker in Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe it was Monica Rambeau and some of those people. Nope. Turns out it was just old Steve Rogers trying to have one dub, trying to just be with his fucking lady. The universe could not tolerate it. And thus, the incursions begin. So apparently Doctor Doom is going to hate Steve Rogers for this, and he's going to want to kill him, which makes sense. However, it's even more weird than that, because I've been told that Doom wants to kill Steve Rogers before he goes and does this. Okay, so we're throwing out all of the Endgame time travel stuff. We're doing causal time travel. Maybe this has to do with the state of the multiverse and how everything's collapsing. Maybe Doom has some kind of technology, or the Kangs had some kind of technology so that Doom can do this. But Doom wants to literally stop Steve Rogers, like through time travel. Maybe using Franklin Richards, he wants to stop Steve Rogers from living out that life with Peggy Carter and from then causing the entire multiverse to collapse. Okay, so that's his plan. Now, part of this also has to do with him getting the TVA involved. I think part of why he wants the Avengers to fight against the X-Men is to get the TVA involved, and like the TVA would show up and then Doom's going to flip on him and probably get to where Loki is at. That appears to still be a major part of the plot, where Doom is going to want to get to where Loki is at. And also, by the way, I don't think this shit's going to work. I don't think he's actually going to get Steve Rogers in this film, because I think the entire multiverse will collapse, and then that's going to be Doom trying to recreate everything via the power of Loki, recreating Battleworld. There are a lot of mysteries about how that could all happen, but this appears to be what it is. Now, one of the reasons I don't like this is because I had thought maybe we're going to get an evil version of Steve Rogers. And here's the thing. The people I were talking to, they told me no Hydra Cap. No Hydra Cap in Doomsday. No Hydra Cap at all. In fact, it's starting to feel like the evil Avengers rumors, like all those rumors we heard about the evil OG Avengers. Yeah, it's starting to seem like none of that shit was real. This could have been misdirection from Marvel. Maybe there was never an evil Black Widow. Maybe Scarlett Johansson is not going to be in this movie. And I just thought maybe we would get crazier stuff like the OG Avengers being evil, flipping on everybody, and it being really, really cool. But instead, it just seems like Doctor Doom is going to show up, present himself to be Tony Stark to the Avengers to get them to trust him. They then try to stop the incursion by going into the X-Men universe to try to get Monica Rambeau. But really, this is all about trying to get to Steve Rogers, get the X-Men and the Avengers distracted so that Doom can, I guess, time travel to try to find Steve Rogers. Or maybe he needs to get to the TVA first to then time travel to get to Steve Rogers. I don't really know. But man, I thought it was going to be cooler than that, right? Like, I thought maybe dual roles for Chris Evans. We're going to get evil version, but no, it just appears that it is just Steve Rogers with Peggy. And by the way, Steve, you fucked up. The whole multiverse is collapsing because of yo ass. And the other thing that I was told, which kind of sucks, is there's literally no reason that Doctor Doom looks like Tony Stark. Now, I'm hoping this is wrong. Like, I'm hoping my source got this one wrong. But I was told there's no reason. you know, I had this big theory. A lot of us had all these theories about what it could mean. And I think at the end of the day, like, one of the reasons that I'm a little bit disappointed in what I'm hearing about Doomsday is it seems like once again, the fans have been cooking with fan theories and speculation that's so much more cool and extravagant compared to what Marvel's actually going to do. Like, what Marvel's seemingly doing is pretty basic. It's like the Fantastic Four and Doom just going to show up in 616, get them to go to the X-Men universe. TVA gets involved somehow. Doom basically tries to get to Steve Rogers. The Avengers are going to try to get there and save Steve Rogers. This all ends in the multiverse basically collapsing. Doom's going to get to where Loki is at, get into the TVA, and create Battle World. And that's going to lead into some cool places. And don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of fun that can be had here. I'm sure the X-Men fighting and the Avengers fighting is going to be dope. I'm sure the Doctor Doom fighting is going to be incredible. But I was looking forward to, like, something way more deep, like something actual meaningful, or something with meaning as far as why RDJ Doom looks just like Tony Stark. I don't think there is an explanation. I think maybe it might even just be Doom doing that to gain the trust of the Avengers. Like, he might even not look like that. I'm not really sure, man. It's crazy. Like, I don't know for sure, guys, and I should say this source has gotten stuff wrong in the past, but I feel like this is real. And then with Shine coming out and saying this shit that lines up with everything I am hearing, it's like, oh no, like just a little different than I thought it was going to be. And I mean, I've heard no King Thanos, no really cool, crazy villain surprises. Like, it's pretty standard, guys. Like, it's just going to be the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the new Avengers, the Fantastic Four, this X-Men team. You know, Doom coming in, no real explanation as for why he looks like Tony Stark. Apparently, he still is going to pretend to be Tony Stark to win their trust in order to find where Steve is at, because he needs to kill Steve. Again, maybe through time travel. Like, it just sounds like what really? When I first heard this, I was pretty disappointed because number one, I thought there would be something really cool about the RDJ Doom thing, and maybe there still is, but it's not out there. And this person is telling me that Marvel doesn't really have a cool idea for why or how it's happening. And if anything, you know, just from what I'm being told, it kind of seems like maybe it's more of like Doom is just using that face to gain the trust of the Avengers. And it's like, okay, I mean, I guess that works. The fact that we're not going to get the evil OGs feels like a crime. Like, I just thought that was really cool. It's weird that Marvel would put out fake leaks that are frankly cooler than basically anything they're cooking in this film. And I'm also kind of confused as far as how Doom is the main player here, right? We just got some word from Alex Perez that Doom is just like Thanos was the main character and sort of like the hero of Doomsday. So if Doom's the main character and we're getting a lot of stuff through his perspective and they're trying to like show us this character, how are they going to be able to accomplish that while also showing us this plot right here, right? Like, it just seems wild. It seems like there's got to be a lot of subterfuge. He's got to like lie to the Avengers. Apparently the Fantastic Four are just going to go along with this because their whole universe might be destroyed and they're just trying to do what they can to try to save everybody. But I don't know. It feels at the same time way too simple and also just not nearly as cool as it should be, you know? And don't get me wrong, like I feel a little bit better about it right now than I did when I first heard this stuff. There's still all sorts of cool ways this could go. The Loki stuff's going to be dope. The Incursion stuff's going to be mind-blowing. It's probably going to be spectacle more than anything. But ultimately, like, I don't know. I guess I was just a person that had thought, wow, I think the Russos probably have this amazing, crazy good fucking idea. And Doomsday, out of nowhere, like maybe Feige was able to figure this out in a way that he's going to give us something really cool that, although very different than what was going on with Kang, is still going to make everything feel like it was meaningful. It's going to pull everything together nicely and give us a satisfying conclusion to this. But it kind of feels like they're not going to touch Kang at all, right? We had heard that Doom was going to be influenced by learning that He Who Remains made the sacred timeline and all other timelines didn't matter. Kind of seems like they're ripping that out completely. I don't see any mention of Kang whatsoever at all. That's so weird. So we're just going to have Doom and he sees what's going on in the multiverse. He knows that it's actually Steve Rogers' fault. He's going to try to go back in time and stop Steve Rogers. And he has the ability to do that, but he has to like distract the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to be able to do that, or perhaps to be able to get the TVA technology to then be able to do that. I don't know, man. Like, that just seems like Like, maybe I'm crazy, but it doesn't seem like it nearly as cool as it should be. Now, of course, the Secret Wars movie is still probably going to pop the fuck off and be very crazy, but that's because it's going to be an entirely different universe. Whatever they're doing in Battle World for Secret Wars is truly going to be really crazy. But I don't know. I'm a little bit tired personally of Marvel just keep setting up the next thing, I personally want a Doomsday to be fucking incredible and be so crazy in and of itself, and then lead into something even crazier in Secret Wars. And maybe it still can be, but I gotta say, from what I'm hearing here, just a little unremarkable, a little underwhelming for me with the plot. But maybe I'm fucking crazy. Maybe you thought my theory sucked balls, and maybe this entire video you've been like, this all sounds incredible, Josh. What are you talking about? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.